you guys from Austria. We'll be on for the next hour to talk to you guys, to answer any of your snowboard questions. Also want to talk to you guys about any ideas that you guys have for designing an SPC snowboard. So gonna do that a little bit later. But yeah, also have a special guest that's gonna come hang out with us in a minute as well. So we got a special guest. We'll talk about snowboards. And if you guys have any questions about snowboarding, definitely hit me up. Let's give a few shout outs to some of the people that got in here early. We got Road Trip on here, Alex Cash, Adam Searles. We got Ricky Miller. We got Peter here. Rano Visuals. Awesome. Thank you guys for hopping on here early. So just to get you guys caught up on what's been happening. So we've been snowboarding here in Hintertux, Austria for the last week. Been having a really good time. The park setup here is great. Been riding with TJ and the crew from Belgium as well. So it's been really fun riding with some of the Belgium snowboarders. And yeah, it's been great conditions, sunny, going for some tricks. We have Enjen on the chat as well. What's up, Enjen? Yeah, now here riding with Shred 1904. Naravi's actually in the other room. Oh, and we got Megan watching from Toronto. But yeah, the snow conditions out here in Austria have been really nice. One of the only places in the world at the moment of a few places that are open. So it's I feel really lucky to be getting a head start on winter over here in Austria. I've also had a chance to ride the Nidecker Sensor Plus a few times, and it's been a super solid board. Been loving riding it. In the park, it's got some extra stiffness, more camber, so it feels like it's been super solid on landings. Riding with speed, it feels very stable, and like it just actually has had my back a few times on tricks, and you guys will probably see that in some videos coming up. It feels like a very precise board, especially for landings. Like you put the edge down and it holds like really well for landing. So I've been stoked on riding that board, and I got a bunch of videos coming soon to doing some park riding on the Sensor Plus. So been super happy with the board, and yeah, with the whole with riding Nidecker boards for the first time. So it's been super fun. All right, so if you guys have any questions, hit me up. Oz says, hi Kevin, have you tried the Malavita bindings? Can you do 10-second review? If you have, please. Yeah, it's been a while since I rode Malavita bindings, but they're kind of like a mid-flexing Burton binding. They've got like a nice, I guess it's like kind of like an ankle strap hammock that's pretty comfortable, but it has been a while since I rode Malavita. It's probably been like 4 or 5 years, but definitely a solid binding by Burton. Pierce Minster says, just got my first board set up. Stoked to finally have my first board. Awesome. Congrats, Pierce. That's awesome. PNW for Life says, you making it down to Stevens Pass again this year? I hope so. Yeah, the plan is to definitely ride more in Washington. And yeah, so Stevens Pass, I think from where I am in Vancouver, it's maybe a like 3 or 4 hour drive. So yeah, definitely want to get down to Stevens Pass a few times. Casey Schmidt says, hey Kev, trying to get into jumps, spins, and flips. However, I'm not sure how to get over the fear. I think like I was actually talking about this in a video today. I think it's like natural to be afraid of, you know, jumps and tricks and things like that at the start. But the more time you put into it and you set some goals and you start working towards those goals, things actually become like less scary, and you end up achieving your goals just by putting in the time. So if you have a trick in mind, a spin, a jump, anything like that, just start like building up to it. And with time and practice, I think the fear will go away and you'll get there. But it's all about just putting the time in. Calvin says, doing our first season in Morzine this year. Any tips? Awesome, Calvin. That's so cool. Morzine is such a cool place. Love Morzine in France there. I would say any tips? Just, just make the most of it. Try to get up snowboarding as often as you can. Don't miss any like powder or sunny days, and be safe. Like it's when you're riding in a new mountain and you have a whole season ahead of you, just definitely play it safe. You have lots of time to ride, so don't take any unnecessary risks early. Just start off slow and enjoy the whole season. But Calvin, that's awesome, man. I hope you have a great time in Morzine. Kluk wants to know what do you think about Jones Mountain twin boards? I haven't had the chance to ride a mountain twin yet. Would like to at some point though. Humade, what do you think about the Burton Process and Solomon Huck Knife? Yeah, very kind of similar boards in a lot of ways. They're both like camber to like early rocker towards the tips, and sort of like mid to soft flexing boards. So yeah, very, very similar boards, to be honest. Like kind of good boards for like beginner, intermediate park riding. Just cruising around the mountain, not too aggressive. A kind of a good board for like beginner, intermediate type riding, I think. Oh, we got Ty Winter Sports on here. What's up, Napa? Says, what's up, chat? What's up, Kevin? Hope you're doing well, brother. Yeah, man. Doing well out here in Austria. Hope to get down to California to ride with you at Big Bear again. That last time was amazing, and hopefully get to ride with you again soon. Curtis says, are you guys hitting up Japan if the border opens up? Unfortunately, I don't think Japan is going to open, so I think Japan may be on hold for another season, unfortunately. Would love to get back to Niseko or Hakuba or Miyoko, someplace new. But yeah, unfortunately, I think that the borders aren't going to open at this point. Ada says, your videos made me want to start snowboarding. I'm just not that good yet. Well, I'm stoked that you found the videos and they got you into snowboarding. But yeah, give it time. I mean, everyone was a beginner at some point, so just stick with it. Tupo says, going to Austria, how is the travel restrictions and resort? Yeah, good question. So coming from Canada to Austria, I think I had to have, you have to have like one of three things. I think it was to get to, we flew to Germany and then drove to Austria, and you had to have one of three things. You either had to have a negative COVID test, 2 vaccines, or proof of immunity, I think. So you had to have like one of three things. And yeah, like, so I have my vaccine card, so that was fine. And yeah, when you're here, you have to wear like masks on the gondolas, and you have to, they like check your like vaccine and stuff when you're going into the chalet. So it's not too bad. There's just like a few things you got to do, but it's not too bad for traveling. Misha says, hey Kevin, I'm going to Whistler this year, and I was wondering what your favorite run is on the mountain and any tips. Awesome, Misha. Yeah, one of my favorite, honestly, like going up Peak Chair, one of my favorite places, especially like on a powder day. Going up Whistler Peak, it's like just the chairlift itself is one of the most amazing, I think, places to be. You have views, you can see other people riding and like going off cliffs. So the Peak Chair is incredible. And yeah, the views from the top are just like some of the best in the world. You can see Black Tusk Mountain in the distance. So yeah, and then also on Blackcomb Mountain, a few of my favorite areas, Glacier Chair. The views aren't as nice on Glacier Chair, but on a powder day, you have a short hike over to up Spanky's Ladder, which opens up a whole bunch of different bowls. It's kind of an like advanced expert terrain over there, but really fun place. And then Crystal Chair too. Crystal has a lot of really fun terrain. So it's hard to pick one run, but yeah, tons of really great places on Whistler and Blackcomb. CJL wants to know, how long is the Whistler season? So usually it runs from like mid-November until like mid-May. So a pretty long season overall. Alfie says, heading to Kaprun Zell am in Austria next week. Have you ever been? I've never been, no, but I've heard a few friends that have been there, so I'm sure it's pretty good. Yeah, have a good time. Aaron says, hey Kevin, if you come to Bear Mountain this season or in the future, I have an Airbnb up there and would love to help y'all out. Oh, amazing, Aaron. Yeah, thank you, man. That'd be great. Yeah, really appreciate it, Aaron. Well, yeah, if you can shoot me an email with the Airbnb, and we'll definitely hit you up sometime. Yeah, really appreciate it. That's awesome, man. Yeah, love Bear Mountain, the whole like town, the vibe. Met so many like amazing people there the other year, and yeah, the mountain with the park from top to bottom was so much fun. So yeah, love visiting California and Bear Mountain. Ayadal says, when is the best time of the year to ride the terrain park at Whistler? Man, I don't know. I feel like it always depends. It's very weather dependent. So Whistler Park can be hit or miss just depending on the amount of snow, if it's sunny, the temperature. So man, that's a tough question. It's really weather dependent. Yo Greco says, you ever do Whistler heliboarding? Yeah, I have one time, and it was actually the last day of the season last year. So it was mid-March, and I had a friend visiting from Ontario, and he wanted to go heli skiing, and we just like picked a day that was sunny after a weekend of like powder storms, and it was like incredible. The helicopter ride up into the mountains was probably like my favorite part of the whole thing. Just being in the small helicopter and them taking you up was really cool. Incredible views. And then our guide, like you get a guide with it too, and they show you where to go. And he took us on some like really amazing runs. It was like deep powder snow, sunny day. It was perfect. So yeah, it was a little bit expensive. I mean, heliboarding is expensive, but I think it was just over $1,000 Canadian each between 4 of us. And that was for pretty much, I think it was like we did like 5 runs, but that included lunch, and it took us like all day. But yeah, it was an incredible experience. I've only done it once, but yeah, highly recommend it. There's a video on the channel about it too. So if you want to check out what the day was like, just search like Whistler heli snowboarding, and it should pop up somewhere on YouTube. Goldsman says, got any recommendation on boots? I was looking into Adidas Sambas, but everywhere I go, they don't have my size. Goldsman, yeah, that's a bummer. I'm not sure exactly how the Adidas snowboard boot thing is working, but they may not be, I don't think Adidas is making any more snowboard boots. So I don't know how many like are still in stock or still around. So it may be hard to come across Adidas Sambas. I've recently been riding the Nidecker Tracer boots, And honestly, like I've been having a really good time on those boots. They've been comfortable. They've got dual BOA, and yeah, they've been great boots. So maybe try those on. But I would say the best thing for boots, if you can't find a pair of Sambas, is just put your feet into a few different pairs and see which ones are comfortable. And you know, for me, that's the number one. That's the most important thing, is just a boot that you can stand in for like a half an hour or so without any foot pain. And if you can find a good pair like that, then that's the best bet. But yeah, the Adidas snowboard boots, unfortunately, I think are slowly going extinct. Alex says, I'm planning on getting my first setup. I'm 20 years old. Are the Burton step-ons the move? Alex, honestly, probably not the move, just because I think you lose a bit of performance with step-ons. You know, I think step-ons are good if you need like that convenience, but I would say, Alex, just go for like a regular pair of bindings. That's gonna like, I think just give you better performance and bigger like choice when it comes to boots. So yeah, I would just go regular. James saying SPC board, quiver killer. James, yeah, I hope so, man. Yeah, towards the end of the chat, we'll talk about the SPC board. If you guys have any recommendation, I'm gonna like, yeah, just keep the dialogue happening with you guys and just see what kind of board you guys are looking for. But the SPC snowboard process is basically, I need to have some specs done in a few months, and then hopefully this time next year, the board is gonna be in stores. But we have a special guest is actually coming to sit down and talk to you guys. He's somebody that's been on the live chats for years. And, oh, I can hear the live chat happening right now in his pocket. But if you guys have seen Enjen on the chat, and he's been on hundreds of these, he's gonna be on the live chat, and he can answer some of your questions. Come on in, man. All right, guys, here he is, the man himself.
Hi, peeps.
Yeah, so Enjen has been on the live chats for years, coming to hang out, answer questions. Is from Belgium, and yeah, just came with his buddies and came to snowboard for the week. So yeah, sweet. This is crazy. I'm used to seeing you like on this side, but yeah, we're switching it up. How was the snowboarding today?
Snowboarding was nice. We had some nice bluebirds, sunny weather. The snow was okay, but was nice to snowboard here in Hintertux.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys came. It's been super fun. All right, so if you guys have any questions for Enjen, you're probably used to like him answering some questions in the chat already. But I haven't seen, is any of the DWCP guys in here yet?
I don't think so.
I think it's like the wrong time zones for those guys.
I think the Australians are sleeping right now.
Yeah.
And the Americans maybe not awake.
It might be too early. They're at work maybe. All right, let's, we'll see if there's any, but yeah, we'll just answer questions if you guys. Yeah. So Enjen, his background too is in, used to be like a pro snowboarder back in his day, and then also has been teaching snowboarding and just working in a snowboard shop too. So his like snowboard knowledge is pretty high. All right, let's see if we got some good questions in here. Jamie Air says, did you see the new Lobster snowboard drop? I have not. No. I haven't seen any of the new Lobster boards, no. Kurt says, thoughts on the Jones Frontier 2022? I haven't ridden that one. Do you know about that board?
I didn't read that one, but I read the previous one, and it's a nice board, a bit all mountain. Bit stiff for my taste, but still a good all mountain board for somebody who wants to really shred and take some hot laps.
Sweet. Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Oh, Bad Riders is on here. All right, Adam from Australia. So it isn't too early in Australia. It says, "Yo, Enjen, awesome."
Hi, Adam.
All right, and then Daniel says, I'm looking for a boots that are priced under $100. Any recommendation? I think
It's quite hard.
that's
Hard to
tough.
find.
I would say, like, you can maybe find, if you get lucky and you're looking online, maybe you can find like a last year's pair of boots in like the outlet section of a website, and maybe you can get it for under 200. But for a brand new pair of boots, I don't think there's many pairs that are in the $100 range.
I think maybe in the end of the season or in the summer, 180, 120.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, maybe you can find a last year's pair and find a pair from last year.
So I saw a question about the person with the Frontier.
Yeah.
And he asked, comparing the Merc with the Frontier, I would pick the Merc because it's a little bit nicer to ride. It has more flex between the bindings, and it's a directional twin, so more fun than the Frontier anyhow.
Okay, sweet. Directional twin, yeah. Aria says, what is both of your favorite resorts in Europe? Aria, good question.
Oh, I like Saint Anton.
St. Anton, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Why do you like it?
It's a difficult resort to ride.
Yeah.
The reds are very dark red, more blacks, and a lot of good spaces to ride off piste.
Okay, sweet. And like for all the American or North Americans, reds are kind of like between blues and blacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say my favorite resort in Europe is probably St. Anton as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it's so vast, there's so much terrain to explore, and yeah, like the steep runs are like very big and
Yeah.
steep and technical. So,
But you have so many good resorts in Europe. Like
Yeah.
Hintertux is now very good pre-season, and then once it starts to dump, you can go France. You have Tignes, Val Thorens, Nice, Les Arcs. In Austria, you have Flachau in January. It's very low, but it's a very good resort. Good for riding trees. And then you have also the Absolute Park. You have Solden. You can ride Solden right now, but in the winter, in the deep winter, January, February, it's a really vast resort. A lot of fun I had in the past there.
cool. Wow. Yeah. Europe is just endless. There's endless resorts. I feel like.
Yeah.
Do you know like in the ballpark of how many resorts are in Europe?
Hundreds. You have the small one lift, lift resorts,
Yeah.
and then you have the really big ones. 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers is average here.
So there must be like a few thousand then, if you like between the small and large.
At home I had a map, and it's a huge map, and I try to find everything, but it's
Yeah.
impossible. Everywhere there are little resorts.
Wow. Spry says, hey guys, how do I know the correct way to set up my bindings? Good question.
So let's start with the binding himself. So
Yeah.
always make sure that your straps are in the correct length.
So would you put like the snowboard boot in?
Yeah, you put the
And
boot in, and then check if you can close it easily. If you just have 1 centimeter of just like a little piece, make the strap a little bit longer, because when you go snowboarding, it can be a little bit snow on the base of the binding, and if your straps are really just, it's hard to strap in. So always make sure you have like 2 centimeters
What
extra.
what angles do you set up for someone who's like their first time riding?
First time, 12 minus 12.
Yeah.
You can go 15 minus 15, but for a beginner it's maybe a little bit too wide.
Yeah.
So
just like a nice like duck stance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then width, like what's like
width is quite simple once you can snowboard. If your bindings are too wide, the stance, it's gonna be hard to turn, very hard.
Yeah.
And if you put the bindings too narrow, your board will become very nervous, easy to turn, but you will not stand stable on your board.
Yeah. So this and so what do you like maybe a little bit wider than shoulder width
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's actually so on your snowboard there should be like sort of some arrows that tell you like what the recommended like spots to put them in.
Yeah.
And you can use that, but it's not a sure thing. So if you're shorter, it could be a little bit narrower. If you're taller, maybe a little bit wider. But
And also, when you put your binding on your board, make sure you take the binding with the boot, and you look for in the width that the boot is really in the middle of the board.
right, yeah.
So if the toes are sticking too much out, then the heel side, you're gonna drag with your toes. And then when you ride on your heel side, when your toes are too much sticking out on the other side, you're gonna slip away because you cannot put enough pressure on the board, on the heel side.
Yeah.
So always check to get your bindings in the middle of the board.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, like my boot size has always been about 10, so it actually seems to center itself on the board. But yeah, if you have 11 or if your feet are smaller, then you might have to adjust it forward or backwards just to make sure they're perfectly centered. What about, do you do the high backs as well for a new snowboarder?
For a new snowboarder, not really. You can rotate the high backs, but
Do you have like a 0 or do you put it like add some forward lean?
the forward lean. For beginners, when they're leaning a little bit back on the back foot, I advise to put a little bit of forward lean at the front binding only. So they bend the knee a little bit more and then they put more pressure at the front of the board.
Nice.
And for beginners who don't bend their knees, you can try to put the both bindings a little bit in a forward lean, so the both knees are a little bit more bent.
Okay, nice. Sprite is saying, I'm not a beginner, but I've been riding for years, just never knew what angles were correct. To be honest, there's like no correct angles. So, you know, what you've been doing, maybe if it feels right, but depends on the type of riding you like to do too. So if you're in park riding, maybe have it more even, like 15 and -15 or 12 and 12. But if you only ride in one direction, then your front foot could be like say at 18 and back binding at 9.
18, yeah, more 12 then.
Yeah, it's up to you, like kind of whatever feels right.
Yeah, you just have to try it.
Yeah,
You have to find what's easy for you.
yeah, definitely. Area says, do you ever feel burnt out from filming or editing? Not really, no. Just love making the videos, so try to keep them going. Sometimes if it's like the middle of summer and I'm trying to make snowboard videos, then that can be a little bit maybe not feeling the same. But with the snowboard season approaching, I'm just looking forward to making each video.
Yeah. So I saw a question about foot pain.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, the foot pain is not. Most of the time, it's not the bindings who are causing the foot pain, unless you're strapping in too hard.
Mm-hmm.
But foot pain is most of the time the incorrect boot, and that means too big, too small, or you can also use for preventing foot pain is custom foot beds. So the best advice I can give you: go to a good snowboard shop and check if your boots are the correct size, and maybe you can take some let the shop make some custom foot beds.
Yeah, definitely. So Ada says, one fast question: how can I make turns smoother? Ada, good question. There could be so many things. One thing could be the rhythm of your turns. So if you feel like your turn's coming around and you're kind of like chattering at the bottom, it may be because your one turn is bigger or smaller than the other one. So you could maybe like count in your head to 3 or think of a song and try to create a rhythm in your turns. And with that rhythm too, thinking about controlling the same amount of speed out the side of each turn. So it's trying to make your heel turn the same size as the toe turn and trying to control the speed evenly too. That could help make them smoother. Do you have any advice for smoother turns?
I would say first try to ride a little bit slower, so you have more time to react on the situation. Like make long turns, just traverse the slope and then make a turn, so you have a little bit more time to think about the turn before you have to make it. So
Yeah.
take down the speed a little bit, traverse the piste, and take your time. The speed will come when your skills are getting better. So just take your time and enjoy it, and you will see, relax, and then you're gonna get those smooth turns.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a good one. I feel like sometimes when there's something not quite working out in the riding, or like, yeah, you're trying to improve something, when you take it someplace where it's
Yeah.
like more mellow and you can
Yeah.
slow it down, then that's the best way to do it. Yeah, Road Trip says too, it's like foot pain could also be from tightening your binding
Yeah.
straps too much, for sure. Or yeah, like sometimes you tighten your boots up too tight.
Yeah.
Like I've done that where I've, been excited to go snowboarding. I tighten my boots up as much as I can, and then after an hour, I start getting my achy feet. And so then, one thing I've been doing for years now is I'll actually keep the bottom half of my boot a little bit looser and the top half tighter. So with my new snowboard boots, it's got the double BOA, and I've already noticed that the top half, I've got it really tight, and the bottom half is not loose, but it's just comfortable.
Just making contact with your feet.
Yeah. You don't want to crush the bottom of your foot by having tight boots and tight straps.
That's a common fault with people who are using boas, because it's so easy to tie them really, really tight.
Yeah.
But don't over tie your boots.
Yeah.
Try, and if you don't have enough support, do your boots a little bit tighter. But if you feel your feet is starting to become numb or sleeping, or your toes are getting cold, just lose the boot a little bit.
Definitely, yeah.
You have to play with it. There is not a science about it. You just it's trial and error. You have to find the things that work for you.
Yeah. Jarno says, yo, big question. This is going to be my first full season in the mountains. What are a couple things that I will need? Should I invest in expensive goggles or something? I will be working in a hotel. Jarno, good question. So a couple things that you'll need. So you'll need all the gear, I guess. But yeah, what I guess in terms of money, like if you're gonna invest in some more expensive items, I think goggles could be a good one. Like being able to see well, having multiple lenses. I think we both have you have the Oakley line miners as well.
Yeah.
Like the Oakley line miners, they're a little bit more expensive, but they've got a great lens, and those are the kinds of things that can really save a day too. If you go up and you have the wrong goggles, it could hinder you.
Maybe invest in a second lens for the same goggle, like a mist lens and a lens for when it's brighter.
Another thing that's I think worth the extra money is maybe in the jacket. So like having a jacket that's Gore-Tex. It kind of depends on the resort you're at. If you're riding somewhere where it's a bit wetter or warmer snow conditions, then like having a Gore-Tex jacket can really help. And pants too, if you can pull off both.
But I think the most important thing about snowboarding is your boots.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go for a whole season, the boots.
Yeah.
Go for a decent pair of boots. Don't look at $50. Just
Yeah.
invest your money in your boots, because when your boots are not fitting correctly, you're gonna ride with pain in your foot, cold foot. So I would say boots.
Nice. Yeah. Miles, what do you think about the Ride Twin Pig board? I haven't ridden the Twin Pig. Have you ridden the Ride Twin Pig?
The Twin Pig, yeah, that's a hard one. I rode it a few years ago. The Twin Pig. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. I have to skip that answer.
Yeah. I know TJ, he rode the Twin Pig a lot a couple of seasons ago and like loved it. I know a lot of people love that board, so it's a popular one. Splur says, I just bought my first board. I got the Flow Merc. Is that a good board? Do you know anything about it? So the Flow Merc, is that now the Nidecker Merc? I think it must be the same one.
Yeah, gonna be the same one.
I rode the Merc a couple of days ago. And yeah, it felt like a sort of mid-flexing, sort of like all mountain board that you can also take into the park. And yeah, it felt nice. It had some camber, some like rocker towards the tips, and it felt like kind of like a mellow, cruising kind of board. Nothing too aggressive, but it's something that's like a bit versatile. So yeah, I had a good time on it. Easy to flex, probably good for butters. And yeah, sort of like a good beginner to intermediate style board. Hums Awesome says, I've been thinking about step-ons, and I'm just wondering what you might dislike about them versus straps outside of price. Do you have any opinions on the step-ons?
Step-ons is a very good system.
Yeah.
Has been around for like 3 years, if I'm not wrong. The only downside was if you have really broad feet, then they can pinch a bit on the little toe.
Yeah.
But out of sight, it's a good binding. It's quite direct also, because your first point is really, you have the two clits on the sides in the front of the boot, and then your heel is really clicked in. So it's the control is quite direct. So you have to love that. I want to ride them, but the Burton boots are a little bit too small for me, because I have really small feet, but a little bit broad.
Okay.
So maybe this year you have the DC boots for the binding. So I'm gonna test those, and hopefully I can ride them.
Nice.
But for now I'm riding still straps, and probably I will, maybe if I can ride the step-ons, I will ride the step-ons, and that will be more for teaching. But when I go on my personal time, I still go with straps for the moment.
Nice. You think the straps give like more performance, being able to like kind of wrench it down on the boot a bit and like really hold your boot in there?
I'm riding straps like 25 years, maybe longer. Yeah. And I got so used to them, so it's more second nature.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes you like what you're used to. Like that's me too. Morty says, have you tried 32 boots? Which ones do you recommend? For some reason, I started to have a problem with 32 boots. My last couple pairs just gave me like painful pressure points across like multiple parts of my foot. Very like, I don't know why, I don't know what was happening, but yeah, so I had to stop wearing 32s. Did you, have you heard about that? Like, is it just me? Was it more than just me?
I didn't heard about that problem.
Okay.
But I used to ride 32 when I was younger, but when you get older, your feet widen up a little bit. So they were getting too narrow for me.
Okay.
So I swapped to DC right now.
Yeah.
and DC is nice for me.
Okay, nice.
So it doesn't mean that if I like DC, that's the best boot for you. Everyone have a different size of foot,
Yeah.
so you have to go to shops, fit your shoes, and then find the brand that's good for you.
Yeah, just like that's what I try to do too. Is like you just put your feet in the boots, hang out in them, see how they feel. If you're comfortable, like if it feels nice, then those could be the right boots.
Yeah.
If you put your feet in boots and they start giving all kinds of like crazy pains, sometimes that pain goes away and sometimes it doesn't, and it lingers around while you snowboard and can ruin things. So yeah, the best thing is just try on boots.
So
Adrian says, are we going to see a backflip this season? Yeah, so I was talking to TJ about that. He did a couple backflips today in the park. And I'd love, one of my goals is to do a backflip, but maybe into powder first. So when I get the opportunity with some nice powder snow, I'll have to do a backflip session. Did you see a question there you had in mind?
I see spray,
Spry?
yeah. Vans boots. You have to try them on. We can tell you everything about a certain boot, but we don't know your feet. So go to shops, try them on, walk around in it, and find a boot that you're most comfy in. And that's already a good start. It doesn't
Definitely.
mean I ride with the DC boots, with the Travis Rice ones. I ride them more than 5 years now.
Wow.
Not one pair. I changed them.
Yeah,
changed them up.
Yeah.
But for me, is the perfect boot. But you have to try boots. That's the only way.
Definitely. Moritz says, I have been to Hintertux today. Oh, awesome,
Oh, nice.
Moritz. Cool. Yeah, we were up there today. We were by the T-bars, doing lots of park laps. So if you're up there, I may take a day off tomorrow because I know it's supposed to be cloudy. So maybe tomorrow might be a down day. I'm not sure, but definitely got, I think, like 4 or 5 days left of riding up there. So Moritz, if you see us up there, just come say hello. And Ruben says, hi guys, I bought the Yes Basic. Do you think I made a good choice?
So are you a beginner or
Yeah.
or are you more a park rider?
Stuff to say, Ruben. Yeah, what kind of riding do you do? Let us know. Let us know what you like to do. Travel with Love says, Will, the local snowpark designer, is the best. And Tux is the best. He is super nice and approachable. Just ask him for when in Tux. Super nice dude. Awesome.
Yeah.
Is it Will or Wille? W-I-L.
It's Wille.
Wille?
Yeah.
All right. Is that the dude with the blonde hair? I don't.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Could be.
Um,
Is the Capita Ultrafear a good board? Depends. What do you do? Are you a rider who likes to play? Then it can be a good board. But just remember, the Capita Ultrafear is not a board for big jumps or going fast.
yeah, it's kind of like a jibby park board. I think something that's fun, probably more on smaller features for having fun.
Yeah.
Flexible board could be
Yeah.
good for butters and things like that.
It's a really fun board, but not for high speeds or high impacts.
All right, so we've almost got 15 minutes left. Let's do one more question, then I have a question for everyone on here. Michael says, hey guys, what is a good all mountain binding? Thinking of upgrading from switchback bindings. Board, Capita X, Volcom boots,
TM2s. Yeah.
TM2s. What do you think of Rome DOD or Nitro Phantom? Oh yeah, so.
Jerome DOD is a good one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you have even the high back has extra flex.
Oh, sweet.
So the Rome DOD I know good and it's a good binding. The Nitro Phantom I didn't try, so.
But yeah, Michael, dude, looks like you have a good setup there, man.
So Ruben from the
Ruben.
basic, beginner to intermediate. This will be my third season. Uh, how big is the board? But normally, yes, basic is a good all-round board. So I think you bought if you got the right size, you bought a good board for you.
All right, sweet. So we got 15 minutes left, and I wanted to ask you guys about what you guys want to see in the Snowboard Pro Camp SBC Snowboard. So if you guys have any like recommendations, so I'm trying to gather information from you, like what you guys think would make a fun board. Like, should I make a park board, a powder board, an all mountain board? Yeah, just any feedback from you guys is really cool. The next year of like putting it all together, would love to just talk to everyone about it and get your feedback as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Enjen, what do you think? What do you think an SPC snowboard should include? Do you have any ideas?
I would go for a little bit all mountain,
Okay,
maybe directional twin.
directional twin, yeah.
Yeah, you can ride park with it. You can scratch. You can rip up the groomers,
Yeah,
and if you have the luck to have some fresh pow, you can ride with pow.
yeah,
So
okay.
maybe something you can go for a park board. Just let the fans decide.
Yeah, but yeah, directional twin is kind of like last week when I asked, a lot
Yeah.
of feedback was that. And I guess something too, like that I'd be stoked to ride, but I also want like, yeah, lots of people to be stoked on it too. So yeah, that's a pretty versatile shape. Oh, and then Prod says something versatile actually. Awesome. Yeah, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm leaning that because yeah, I'd love to make like a powder specific, like there's so many like choices. I'd love to make a powder board, a park board, but yeah, it's nice to make something that's versatile too, that you can take out on a lot of different days.
Maybe not too stiff,
Not too stiff?
No.
Okay.
so the beginners have a fair chance too.
Okay. Something around the like five out of 10 on flex, or would you even go to 4?
No, mid range.
Okay, mid-range. Okay. James Morrill says a quiver killer. Awesome.
I know that board. That's a great board, but gonna be hard to copy that one.
Yeah, okay. The ultimate all mountain board. Love it. Austin wants to know, making it out to Tahoe this year. Yeah, would love to get down to Tahoe. Have you ever ridden Tahoe or around California?
No,
No?
No.
Okay.
just did around Seattle.
Seattle, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
And then I moved up to Canada.
Oh, yeah, you did? Oh, awesome.
I've been in Whistler, so.
Oh, sweet. Cool.
And I did the hilly boarding there too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
So
Did you guys have a good day for the heliboarding?
it was a very expensive vacation
It's
because we were there for like 14 days. And,
Wow.
we rode 5 days with a helicopter.
Wow. 5 days with the helicopter. That's awesome. So you've like, yeah, you've been around the mountains
Yeah.
around Whistler quite a bit. Nice. Cyper X wants a board that's a mid flex on the stiffer side. Okay. Maybe a little bit stiffer. Ricky, I would vote for a hybrid camber quiver killer for the first board.
Yeah.
Okay. Gary says, do Nidecker have any special edge tech you can put in the SPC board?
They have indirectly. Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually I talked to them about that, and there is, yeah, I can sort of, if there's an edge tech that I'm interested in, I can include it. So yeah, with like multiple contact points, or yeah, I'm not sure exactly the extent of it, but there's some things. I am tempted, yeah, because like stuff like magnet traction I think can be really great on ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an option. What do you think? Would you include magnet traction?
Yeah, that's an unfair question for a lift tech fanboy.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yes, I would.
Nice. JA says SPC board, all mountain freestyle. Nice. Yeah, I feel like that is like the common theme.
Yeah. Zero camber board. Zero camber is
Oh, zero camber. Yeah,
it's flat.
a flat board. Yeah,
Or like a weak camber.
a weak camber. Yeah. Zero camber. Yeah, it can be fun. It can be fun too. Zero camber.
Yeah, but a bit difficult for an all mountain board.
It could be, yeah. Zero camber maybe is more of like a jibby sort of butter park board, but something to consider. Bradley says Miss Mammoth opening day soon. Yeah, would love to get down there. Futz Poppin says 4 to 10 flex with
Yeah.
magnet traction twin.
That's more like a park board.
Yeah.
Are the slopes in Hintertux icy?
Hmm.
In this time of year, when the sun is shining, at the end of the day, yes, they are icy.
It's been a bit icy, yeah, yeah. I think last year when we came, it actually snowed a lot, and so we were kind of spoiled last year. But this year it's been sunny, which is amazing too. But that sun kind of like melting and then freezing, it's created a lot of icy slopes. But today was probably the softest day of the trip, even though it was still a bit icy, but it was on the softer
Yeah.
side.
Today was a very nice day.
It was awesome, yeah. Bad Rider says a 3D base all mountain slayer with the SPC Indie Grab logo on the base with the Nightyker N on the tail, but great in trees and in the park. Awesome, I like it, Adam. Yeah, 3D base.
I like the flappy nose a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not too much. Not go extreme.
Yeah.
A little bit, just so if you want to, just making sure that you're not catch an edge too fast.
Yeah.
And in the deep snow, it's always 3B base is always fun.
Yeah, that's true. Like, because a 3D base, it does help you, yeah, in the park be less catchy, and then
Yeah.
when you're rolling through powder,
Yeah.
you can like, yeah, I love that feeling of a 3D like nose kind of rolling through
Yeah.
the snow a bit. Adam, yeah, good recommendations, man. Yeah, I like the the SPC logo as well. Ada says, I wondered if you do any warm-ups before going to snowboarding. I should warm up more,
Yeah.
but I think like some dynamic like stretching. Like I've been trying to learn more about stretching and things, and like I guess like experts or whatever say that the more like sort of dynamic type stretches you do ahead of time, the better.
But dynamic, you have to warm up first. So
Right, yeah, so have a hot shower first,
Yeah.
get warmed up.
But I like to do some easy lap,
Yeah,
take it slow, and then if I feel my body is not totally loose, stretch somewhat. But specified thing I do every time, no.
yeah. It is.
Just take your time in the beginning.
Yeah, it is good too. Like, yeah, warm up laps, just getting yourself warmed up, and like as I'm riding, sometimes too, I'll do like a bunch of arm circles, or even like shifties back and forth, just trying to like get your like core kind of like warmed up by doing those shifties. Even doing like a heel slide and like doing some like kind of like squats to get things moving. So
Yeah.
just kind of like you can do dynamic things like on your board as you're riding, just like taking it mellow. All right, let's go back just so I don't make sure I didn't miss anything here. Okay, so David B, camber dominant with early rise, directional twin, mid flex, and tons of carbon stringers. Nice, David.
A ton of carbon stringers. I'm gonna make the board a little bit too aggressive, I guess.
Okay.
But maybe some.
Some carbon stringers, yeah.
So that the board is a little bit stiffer on the foot.
Yeah.
So we get a nice response.
Yeah, awesome. Jonathan says, I just moved to SLT 3 weeks ago. Gonna be a killer season. What is SLT? I feel like I should know what that is, SLT. Matthew says, favorite resort in the Northeast. Oh, Matthew, I honestly, I haven't ridden many like resorts in the Northeast. If you're talking like Northeast, like up in Canada, one of my favorite spots would be Mount Tremblant in Quebec. Have you snowboarded in Quebec before?
No.
Okay.
No.
Have you been there just for fun? Without snowboarding?
No.
No.
Only
Oh, really?
only the BC side.
Okay. Oh,
The nice size of Canada.
the nice side, yeah. Prod says magnet traction would be nice. Okay, a lot of people saying magnet traction.
Yeah.
Wow. Manual.
But if you go for a magnet traction, go for a really mellow one.
Okay. Like a 3-point, just.
No, you can take a 5-point,
Okay.
but the bumps mellow.
Mellow. Okay.
So if you have a skate banana, you have really big bumps.
Yep.
So it bites a little bit more. But
Okay.
if you go to the other boards, the more all mountain boards, you see really mellow magnet traction.
Nice. Yeah, I really appreciate all the feedback, guys. This is like a lot of good feedback. Road Trip says, how do you check stiffness of a board? Is there like a number where I can look up?
No.
Well, there could be a number, like if you could look up the stiffness on like a website or something of the board.
Yeah, the problem is every brand has its own numbers.
That's true. Yeah.
So if you take a Capita, a 5,
Yeah.
and you take a Burton, a 5, and a Niedecker, a 5, there are 3 different flexes. So
It's
there
true.
is not a standard for flexes, but a mid flex to soft is like a 5 to 3, 1. I never saw one board though.
No. Yeah.
And a stiff board is 6, 7, 8. But there will be always a difference.
You know what board could be a 1 is the DC House of Powder. Have you ever flexed that board?
Yeah, I know it's very flexible.
It's very
but
flexible.
It's not a 1.
It's the closest maybe thing.
Yeah.
It's maybe a 2.
I will go for a 2.
Okay. It's so thin. It's like a very thin board, but
it's also bamboo.
is it? Okay. Okay. One way that you can tell is like you know, if you have your board and just give it like, you know, push on the center, just feel it out. If it's really easy to flex. Sometimes you go to sort of like push on a board and it's just like stiff and very like firm. So that can kind of like give you an idea. But there's also tons of like board reviews out there too.
Yeah.
So TJ, who's on this trip, Board Archive, he rides tons of boards, and I think he tries to give like a consistent recommendation of the stiffness level.
And also, if you test a board, don't push only the middle.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
try filling out the board. You have boards who are stiffer in the middle or under the feet of the bindings, and the nose is very flexible. So just fill out the board.
Yeah, fill it out. Just wherever, all over the place. Bad Rider says solid idea. Carbon would be great, but Wim, the sage of snowboarding, is right. What does that mean?
The carbon, some glass fiber will do. Carbon stringers, just maybe under the bindings, nothing more.
Okay.
Because we don't want a too stiff board.
Gary says, what base do you think the board will have? Sintered? Yeah, probably a sintered base, or maybe like a combination of sintered, extruded. I forget what they call
A
that.
high-end extruded is easy.
Okay.
It keeps the wax very well,
Yeah.
and it's a bit harder.
Okay.
So the extruded and sintered are more coming together. It's not. In the past, extruded was very, very soft
Yeah.
and easy to do maintenance, and then the sintered ones was harder, a bit faster, but a lot of maintenance. So somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Mr. Ballin Baller says, check the east. It's gorgeous. Yeah, some places on the East Coast
Yeah.
are gorgeous too.
But isn't the East the ice coast?
That's true. Yeah, the Ice Coast. All right, just gonna go back, make sure we didn't miss anything. Chris says he picked up the Orca. Awesome, man.
Welcome to the pot.
Nice. All right. Foot Spottin says definitely 3D with Edge Tech, maybe not 7 points like Magna.
No.
Even 1 to 3 points is G. All right. Cool. What about the new Capita Pathfinder? So the Pathfinder is actually the renamed horoscope.
Yeah.
So it's like a good entry level board. Actually, yeah, I've ridden in the park a few times and it's fun. It's like a fun board, just kind of like feels consistent, and I'd say it's like a good beginner to intermediate style snowboard.
Yeah.
Miles wants to know where's the locations you'll be riding this season. How long will you and TJ be riding together this season? So we're trying to plan like as much as we can, but yeah, we'll see how the weather works out and what resorts open, and I'd like to actually ride some smaller, like lesser known resorts. So yeah, we'll just see how that goes. What are your next plans for snowboarding?
In a few weeks we're going to the glacier in Kaproon.
Nice.
And December we're thinking about Dubai.
Oh, sweet. Nice. Awesome. Awesome, guys. So we just cracked the hour mark. So just going to wrap up the live chat there. But thank you guys for coming on, for all the questions, and for the feedback on the board. Big shout out to Enjen.
Hey.
We just got
Hi, Al.
we just got El Stacker on the chat. Says El Stacker says, "Is that the legend Enjen?" It is.
A bit.
Yeah, but yeah, big thanks for Enjen for hopping on here, because this is pretty cool. When I started doing the live chats, like I think maybe it's 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
You're the one. I think the first person who was like very consistent every week. And so it's kind of surreal doing a live chat with you. So this is really cool.
It's fun.
El Stacker says, no, I missed it.
And we have Carlo too. Sorry, Carlo.
Sorry, guys. We'll have to do like a midweek live chat or like something else where we hop on here and just and hang out. Maybe we can do, El Stacker, maybe we can do just like a Zoom call and just catch up, man. But yeah, thank you guys again for the questions, for the board feedback, and yeah, thanks. Yeah, big thanks to Enjen for coming on to.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, but yeah, so we'll talk to you guys next Sunday. Hope you guys are having fun out there snowboarding, getting all set up and ready, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video soon. All right, see you.
Have a good one, all.
Awesome. Later, guys.